This does not begin where you think it does. The blade remains raised longer than before. One action becomes another, without permission. A drop forms faster than before.
Something begins to shift, but no one corrects it. The space loosens slightly.
There is no clear end to what has already begun. The hand lowers but does not release. The motion slows but does not stop. The movement no longer waits for intention. The hand rises again without pause. No one signals continuation. It happens before they decide to do it. A pause appears mid-motion, but the body continues anyway. The moment repeats, but not the same way. A drop forms before the motion ends. It falls earlier than expected.
They are no longer fully in control of it. The formation weakens further. Each body moves on a different rhythm.
The ritual continues, even without structure. The hand moves again, but not in sequence.
Already happened.
It does not stop. It only becomes quieter. The movement slows, but does not end.
The moment stays, even after it should be gone. The space holds its tension, not visible.
No one confirms what has taken place. The space remains unchanged at first glance.
What remains does not need to be understood. It begins again, without ever restarting. A subtle movement returns.
No one signals the return of the ritual. Another movement follows, then another. It repeats, but not the same way twice. The timing shifts slightly. The movement arrives early.
The ritual continues, even without a beginning. The act forms again. Not from
Repeats.
The timing breaks, but the act continues. A movement begins before another ends.
The moment overlaps itself again and again. The blade moves twice within the same space. They move, but not entirely by choice. The body follows a pattern. The ritual continues, but no one leads it anymore. You can no longer tell which movement came first. The hand rises again, but it feels. The act repeats before it finishes. A movement starts mid-motion before the last one ends.
Time does not move forward, it folds. The rhythm collapses into itself. Moments no longer follow.
Nothing is clearly happening, yet nothing has stopped. The act exists without clarity.
There is no longer a sequence to follow. The movement exists without order. Not before, not after.
The act does not begin, it is already happening. No entry point can be found. It does not repeat, it never stopped. The motion continues without reset, without interruption. There is no outside to what is happening. No one stands beyond it. No one observes from distance. It continues. The movement does not end. It does not resolve. It does not return. Even after it ends, it does not. Nothing confirms it, but nothing removes it. The moment fades, but never disappears. The fire lowers slightly, but does not go out.
It remains, even when nothing is happening. The space holds stillness.
But not emptiness.
It does not return, it was never gone. The space remains.
Something begins before it is seen.
The motion forms without being called. The hand moves again. Slow.
No one begins it, yet it begins. Another movement follows, not in response. It begins again, without ever ending. The act returns, not from a start. There is no longer a point where it repeats. The movement continues, but not as a... It does not come back, because it never left. The space holds everything at once. No before. Every moment exists inside every other moment. The movement overlaps completely. It continues. There is no final moment. No last action. No end to reach.
It is no longer repeating, it simply is. The movement remains, not returning, not restarting.
There is no direction to what continues. No forward movement. No backward return.
Time no longer moves through this space. No sequence defines it. No order can...
No one is performing it anymore. The bodies remain. But not as actors.
It exists without needing to continue. No action sustains it. No motion defines it.
No action sustains what is already here. Nothing continues it. Nothing restarts. Nothing...
It does not need to continue, to exist. No repetition forms. No sequence builds. No
one remains to perform it. The bodies are still present, but not acting. Not...
It remains. No beginning. No continuation. No end.
Nothing confirms it is over. The space remains open. No boundary forms.
The moment remains without form. No movement defines it. No action shapes it.
It cannot be located, but it is not gone.
It remains without needing to remain. No force holds it. No action sustains it. No repetition main...
Even what remained begins to fade. The space holds less. Not empty, but... It no longer holds its shape. No boundary remains. No form persists. You cannot tell if it is still there. No sign confirms it. No absence removes it.
Nothing remains that can be named. No action, no form, no presence, no absence. Only something undefined.
Nothing answers what remains. No reaction appears. No confirmation arrives. No absence